I teach because I want to make the world a kinder place to live for all people. I cannot think of a better way to make the world a more positive place to live than to educate young children on how to be kind and accepting of the differences of others. I want my students to leave my classroom lifelong learners who also want to make a difference in our world in their own way. I hope that my students remember me as a kind and fair teacher who values the unique abilities of each student. What I love most about teaching is that it allows me to constantly learn and find fulfillment in helping young children grow and find their own passions. It brings me so much joy to see a child get excited about learning or to finally understand a concept they worked so hard to learn.
Charlotte is a kind, calm, and extremely caring teacher. She works hard to meet all of her students where they are at and helps them to strive to be the best that they can possibly be. She is also a wonderful teammate. She collaborates with her team and helps them out in any way that she possibly can, especially with technology. She is also a constant source of peace and always has a welcoming smile for each of us to make our day brighter. Charlotte, I am so very proud of you and blessed to have you as part of my team. Best of luck to you, and thank you for all that you will do this year to represent BES as our Teacher of the Year.
I teach because I have a passion for knowledge and learning. I'll be the first to admit that I am a bona fide nerd, and I have been for most of my life, and I hope to be able to transfer that passion for knowledge and learning to my students in the classroom. Each school year, I have two goals that I try to achieve. Number one, to create better students. Number two, to develop better human beings. There are three things that I hope that my students remember me for. Number one, that I cared. Number two, that I challenged and brought out the best in them. And number three, that I prepared them for life after high school. There's going to come a time when we're all going to leave this earth and head into the afterlife. I think that when we arrive in the afterlife, one of the first questions that will be posed to us is, what did you do to make a difference? How did you leave your mark on the world? Being a classroom teacher, I think that I already have a pretty good answer to that.
Mr. Roach is extremely deserving of the title of BHP's Teacher of the Year. He is a hard worker who always puts the needs of the students first. He pushes students hard in the classroom while still letting them know that he cares. He sets a high standard and he holds students to it. He is a voice of reason on our staff and is always someone that we can depend on. I don't think I know anyone that works more hours than the man. He's always the first one here in the morning and the last one out the door. It is not uncommon to see the light on his room at 9 o'clock at night, and I often find myself having to tell him to go home. To say it simply, Mr. Roach is the best. We wish you the best of luck, Mr. Roach. Win the title for BHP.
I teach because every day I have an amazing opportunity to positively impact the lives of my students. It's funny because I used to say I would never teach middle school, but here I am, and honestly, I am absolutely loving it. I have the privilege of speaking into the lives of these young people at one of the most pivotal moments in their lives, and I consider it an honor. I hope that I am remembered for genuinely loving my students. I hope that my love for them is translated through skillfully and passionately teaching my content, but most importantly, through taking the time to intentionally make a connection with all of my students. What I love most about teaching are my students. I love getting to know them more and more throughout the year, laughing and learning with them and watching them grow as learners and young people. And some days they teach me as much as I teach them. I've learned that building relationships sometimes takes work, especially with middle schoolers who are experiencing so many emotions and figuring out who they are. And I even love how challenging that can be. They can be prickly at times, but loving my students, especially those quote-unquote difficult students, is one of the most rewarding things about this profession. It's not always an immediate reward, but I hope my students look back and remember that I genuinely care about them and their success.
We are very excited and proud to have Ms. Tia Bells as our Teacher of the Year. Miss Bells is extremely deserving. She's one of the most caring individuals you'll ever meet. She has a true passion for teaching, and she is an excellent relationship builder with all of her kids. We want to wish her the best and say good luck, and you're running for District Teacher of the Year, and we're extremely proud of you.
I made the decision to become a teacher because I have a passion for helping children learn and supporting them as they work to reach their goals. When my students leave my class, I want them to remember that I cared about them and encouraged them to do their best. I hope they remember the fun activities and discussions we had in class. The thing I love most about teaching is building relationships with my students and watching them grow and succeed throughout the year.
She's an excellent teacher. Ms. Thompson works very hard to make sure she knows and understands exactly what it is her students need to learn. She sets very high expectations for her students, and she does everything she can to push them to the highest levels of achievement. She's the kind of teacher that shows up early, she works late, she works well with her team, and she is a leader on her team and in our school. She will do anything and everything she can to make sure her students are successful. She definitely deserves to be Teacher of the Year. Ms. Thompson, I'm so proud of you, and I couldn't imagine a better Teacher of the Year.
I teach because I truly believe this is a calling on my life. And although teaching can be quite challenging at times, it is very fulfilling. It makes me happy to be able to be a positive influence in the lives of my students each and every day. I teach because I really want to make a difference. I want my students to remember, hopefully, just how much I cared for them and for their futures. I hope that they can see how hard I tried to make science class interesting, fun, relatable, and memorable. But even more than those little science lessons that they learned, I hope that they remember those little life lessons that I tried to share with them along the way. I love interacting with my students and getting to know them. I really love those aha moments when that struggling student finally gets it. I love it when my students are excited about what's happening in science class. I also love finding out, and probably I love this the most, but I love finding out that a former student has chosen a science-related career. I really like to think that maybe I had a small part in that decision.
Mrs. Ann Taylor is such a deserving Teacher of the Year for Honeypath Middle School. I am so grateful for her, and she is such a blessing to have here in our building. The impact that she has on her students is immeasurable. Her belief in them translates to them and into her teaching, I should say, and it actually helps them to believe in themselves. And that is just such an important quality in any great teacher. Her enthusiasm for the content and for what is being taught, it translates into those kids. You see them get excited about what they're going to be learning, and you actually see them start to love the content as well. And doing that with 8th graders is really a testament to her personality, her character, and then her skill as an educator. She has a God-given talent for communicating knowledge. And again, just so impressed with her and so grateful to have her here in the building with us. Congratulations to her once again. I'm so proud of her, and again, I'm excited about this coming year working with her once again.
I teach because I love working with energetic and creative young students. I also love being in a career where I know I'm making a difference. As a teacher, I have the unique opportunity to help shape students and their future. It is so humbling to watch students grow and transform. I love seeing their sweet smiles and hearing their laughter in the process. I want them to always remember that I love them and believe in them. No matter what, I will always be rooting for them to succeed. I also want them to remember how fun learning can be and that they can accomplish anything they set their mind to. I enjoy my students and the relationships I build with them the most. I love getting to watch them flourish. I always hope to inspire my students, but my students are the ones who always inspire me.
If I were to describe Miss Rebecca Bruce in 5 words, they would be caring, involved, relentless, hopeful, and positive. When I asked Rebecca Bruce to teach 1st grade as a virtual teacher this school year, Miss Bruce agreed without hesitation or reservation. And even though her heart preferred face-to-face instruction. She stepped up to the plate, she accepted the challenge that was given to her, and she executed this task very well. What a team player. Ms. Bruce holds her students to high academic and behavioral expectations. She advocates for what's best for her students, and she's passionate in helping every child reach their maximum level of learning. Ms. Bruce is an effective educator. She's a continuous learner of new instructional strategies. She monitors and adjusts when needed, and she is a leader within her grade level team. We're honored to have Ms. Rebecca Bruce represent Marshall Primary School as the Teacher of the Year.
I teach because I hope to make a difference in my students' lives. I hope that my students will remember the relationships that I have built with them. One thing that I love about teaching is finding the gift that each child has and just helping them grow in that gift so that they can be a productive citizen one day.
Ms. Gilreath is so deserving of Teacher of the Year for so many reasons. She is dedicated to each of her students and goes above and beyond every single day to meet their individual needs. She also intentionally collaborates with other teachers within our school in order to support her students' goals. She is a constant positive motivator to all she comes in contact with. This is evident when she's helping wherever there is a need at our school, or even buying a class pet as an incentive. Ms. Gilreath teaches skills to help her students meet their goals and classroom expectations, but oh, how she teaches so much more. She teaches her students life skills that help them to be successful both inside and outside of the classroom. Ms. Gilreath truly teaches the whole child. Polly, it is such a blessing to work alongside you every day. You are so deserving, and I am so proud to call you Wright Elementary's Teacher of the Year.